Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I accept things the way they are. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. I love wasting. I love wasting. I get free. I reap abundantly. I already have everything I need. Wonderful is happening to me right now. Don't you feel it? Something wonderful is happening to me right now. Oh yeah, I accept things the way they are. I will. I accept things the way they are not. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
How was your family doing today? So safe on the road. Oh boy! I know they are.
I'm just going to ask that you gently close your eyes, put your feet on the floor as we take 3 deep breaths together. Here we go. During our centering together this morning, let me free you from the domination of your mind and bring your divine passion back to you by intertwining your physical and divine natures. I want you to imagine, or just picture, brilliant divine white light building just above your head. Now imagine the deep red glowing energies from the earth core gathering right beneath your feet. You are a magnificent creature, grounded in the earth, and filled with the all-encompassing divine energy. Feel both of these energies building now. Bring the divine white light in through the crown of your head and just move it slowly down your spine. Feel the energy of each chakra as it is energized. Let that white light flow down, out through your feet, and into the core of the earth. Now bring the deep red earth energies from the core upward into your body, through the feet, and have it move slowly up your spine, energizing all your chakras and erupting out the crown of your head, back to the divine. Feel the red and white energies intertwine. the mixing of your earthly nature with the higher awareness of your divine energy changes everything about your life now in wondrous ways. You may gently and easily open your eyes. I am so grateful for this precious time together.
And now if you'll just close your eyes, relax in your seat, and allow my words to become your words as I speak in the first person. And with a joyful, grateful heart, I recognize that there is just one power, one presence. This energy is everywhere. It is all-knowing. It is in me, through me, as me. And as I know this is true for me, I know it's true for each person right here, right now. And what I realize is that when I look in your face, I see the face of God. I am an instrument of His peace. I am joy. I am peaceful. I am love. And today is absolutely perfect. I am so grateful to be standing here with all this love on this beautiful sacred ground I call my center, my spiritual home. And today unfolds absolutely perfectly. Reverend Dan's talk is always spot on and beautiful. It allows us to bring these spiritual truths out into the world, to make this a world that works for absolutely everyone. I am so very grateful for my ministers that so lovingly held my hand and taught me these truths and taught me that I am love. I am the perfect self-expression of God. I am so very grateful for the ministry of prayer team, like you wouldn't believe. They are amazing. I am so grateful for the singers, as these songs I hum all week long keep me connected to my spiritual home and to my beingness. I'm grateful for the soundboard. I'm grateful for all the volunteers, the teachers, the children, and I am so very grateful for every person that showed up today to allow this to become the most important place on Rancho. I now release my word into this absolutely perfect law, knowing it's already done. And together in agreement we say, and so it is.
So the title of my talk is Aligning Your Values with Your Actions. So, at work, several weeks ago, a gentleman, very personable, hardworking, dependable, a really great person, collapses at the elevator. And they rush the emergency responder team to him, and they start working on him, and the ambulance comes, and the EMTs, or whatever they call them, begin to do their work. And they try everything possible. And this young man makes his transition at work. 2 weeks ago at work, the gentleman, personable, hardworking, dependable, has a really good reputation, just a really quality person. 35 years old, doesn't show up for work. We try reaching him, can't get a hold of him, so our policy is we send someone out to see if we can make contact. And they find him, and he has made his transition. So I know these two gentlemen, and it really shook me. And as it always does, these events remind me that I'm going to live here. I'm going to leave here. And so those questions come up, right? What am I doing here? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Am I clear about my why and my purpose and what are my values, and am I living according to my values? And it's so funny that while all of this is happening, for the last several months I have been on a quest to understand why I am here, to understand what it is I am to contribute to life. What exactly, when God had the idea of me, and God moved into physicalness via me, what did God want to express? That's very powerful. And I have to say, these recent events at work gave me a sense of energy to know this. I say, Death, you are the greatest teacher about living. So I have been in prayer, I've been meditating and sitting in the silence. And my why has emerged. What I know is this: my purpose is to help people fall in love with life. I believe my why is to help people fall in love with their own life. And I marvel at God's timing, because that seems, for many, to be a dying art. So as I explored this, and I'm working with the God of my being, God revealed this to me. Reverend Dan, you cannot teach what you do not know. And it is a grave error to expect someone else to be something that you're not. And Reverend Dan, you've been very good at acting and pretending. So your first goal, Reverend Dan, is to love life first. To learn to love your own life first. Not to act, not to pretend. I know you're a theater major, but no acting. So when I explored that idea further, I discovered that living life, loving my life, means learning to live life with passion. To be passionate about life. So what does it mean to be passionate about life? I thought to myself, what does that look like? Where do I begin? So I go to the internet. And I scoured the internet for passion, and many interesting things popped up. Just saying. Of course, I immediately closed those things. But I scoured the internet and I found Isabel Allende. I watched Isabel, this 71-year young, passionate woman, give a TED Talk that has been watched by over 3 million people. And her talk was titled, How to Live Passionately No Matter Your Age. And Isabel quotes from one of Mary Oliver's poems. Tell me what it is that you plan to do with your $1 wild and precious life. Isabel's response, I plan to live passionately. How does she live passionately? She said, you know, at my age, I found I couldn't just will myself to be passionate. But what I did discover is I could train myself to be passionate. And she said this, I've been training for some time, and when I feel flat and bored, I fake it. Because you see, it's about attitude. Attitude. How do I train? I train by saying yes to life. I train by saying yes to whatever comes my way. Drama, comedy, tragedy, love, death, losses. Yes to life. And I train by trying to stay in love. I thought, my God, there it is. That's it. Training to say yes to life, yes to God, and training to stay in love. So I take all of this and I begin moving forward. And one of the ways that I plan to train to live in passion is to always be in the classroom. If I'm not teaching a class, I'll be taking a class. Because you see, what I have discovered is that when we stop learning, we stop growing, we stop expanding, and we begin to contract. And you know, when we begin to contract and our life gets smaller, we lose passion for life. So currently, I am in Tina Bow's wonderful class on Tuesdays, and we're reading a wondrous book entitled Life's Golden Ticket. And in my quest to live and to love a passionate life, I was looking for a technique. I was looking for a tool that would help me stay on track every moment of every day on my quest for passion. And I found it in Tina's class. I found it in this book. And this is why I say, go to class. Your minister of education she knows every single class you have all taken. She knows what's next that you should take. She plans the schedule to make sure to accommodate your schedules. I would never have read this book on my own. It's very powerful. It's very metaphysical, but it's kind of science fiction. And I'm not a real science fiction person. And one person said, well, you know, Superman, science fiction. And I said, you're dumb. Because, you know, everyone knows Superman is real. Now look, his little cape on his coffee cup with abdominals? Thank you, Raven. Superman's not real. Stupid girl. So in this book, page 73, I read, you see, you're lucky. You have the gift of consciousness. You do have the ability to tune into your thoughts and your feelings. You do have the ability to pay attention to how you are making others think and feel. You have the ability to define who you are. Because of these things, you have always been able to ask yourself, who am I being right now? And you have always been able to decide if that person was the person you wanted to be or not. Who am I right now? Who am I being right now? Is it in alignment with who I am, who I want to be? Every moment of every day, I can ask that question. Especially when you're feeling that icky feeling right here. Because honestly, that's telling you you are not being in alignment with who you are or who you want to be. Who am I being right now? Is it in alignment with loving life, loving my life, being in love with life so passionately? So that question has become the compass of my life. Because when I ask that question, I can determine whether or not I am on track. Now, what a marvelous thing to come to a point in life when you know your why, you know your purpose, and you have a compass that can keep you on track. I feel blessed. So with these things, I began to understand, and I began to move into the direction of passion. And this is what I have discovered. First and foremost, to live life, to love life, to be in passion, we need to celebrate who we are. We need to celebrate our uniqueness. Now, I find it interesting that our founder, Ernest Holmes, the author of the Science of Mind textbook, who truly came at life from an approach of science and logic, I found it interesting in his book, Living the Science of Mind, he talks about the importance of our uniqueness. He says this: there is a divine person back of our personality, a unique manifestation of the living spirit. It is never alike in any two people. This is proved by the fact that no two persons' thumbprints are alike. No two blades of grass are alike. No two anythings are identical. And yet everything is rooted in one life, one presence, and one power. Why then should we expect that any two individuals should be alike? God Himself has placed a unique stamp on everyone. We should not study to be alike, but rather to develop what we really are. And then, Reverend Cheryl's boyfriend, Thomas Troard. In his Edinburgh lectures, he says this: never fear to be yourself. If mental science does not teach you to be yourself, it teaches you nothing. Yourself, more yourself, and yet more yourself is what you want. Only with the knowledge that the true self includes the inner and higher self, which is always in immediate touch with the great divine mind. He says, celebrate who you are, celebrate your uniqueness, but always remember that you are connected to the divine. The human spirit was designed to express uniqueness. This is why so many young people today, when they are bullied for being different, when they are bullied for not being like everyone else, and they are bullied to the point where they are so fearful of expressing their own beauty and their own uniqueness, they take their own life. I've spoken of this before, but I will tell you I've confirmed my previous findings. And here's what we know about our uniqueness. There are about, anyone know how many people on the planet right now? 7 billion. 7 billion. No two are exactly alike. Now we say, yeah, we've heard all that. Okay, well, 7 billion people, and no two are exactly alike. That tells you something about God. They have found that even identical twins are not exactly alike. Now, the research around our uniqueness, our most modern findings, are mind-boggling. Discover magazine spoke of this issue. It spoke of the complexity of our DNA. It spoke of how DNA and why it plays a role in us being so different. And it says this, and I have confirmed this with several other scientific sources, but I like the way Discover magazine presents it. Don't try this at home. If uncoiled, the DNA in all the cells in your body, in other words, if you take the 2 trillion cells in your body and you cut them open, and you take the DNA out of them, and you unravel them, uncoil them, and you lay them out, it would travel 10 billion miles. That stretch of DNA would go from the Earth to Pluto and back. I am more convinced, I am more amazed by the science that God uses, the technology that God is using to absolutely, positively, unequivocally, to make sure that we are all different. Today, what I've discovered, to love life, to love my own life, to be passionate about living, I need to quit looking and pointing out everything that's wrong with me. It's time to tear out a clean sheet of paper. It's time to write out the million things that are right about us. The million things that we're doing right. And let me tell you, if you don't get to 1 million, you're lazy. So on my journey, when I hear my self-talk questioning my greatness, I grab the compass. Who are you being right now, Reverend Dan? Are you being in alignment with your uniqueness? Are you in alignment with loving life? And then I go to my list. And I remind myself of the wondrous creature God made when God made me. And it can be done in a way that isn't narcissistic. Now there's a bit more that I must do to stay on the passion path. And it has to do with you. I'm not the only one around. I'm not the only one that matters. Fact of the matter is, everything that I just spoke about, everything that I'm learning about me, everything that I'm learning to do for me, I have to do for you. I love God's wisdom. I love how God has set up the universe, because this is what we learn. So loving life, loving my own life, living in passion requires that I celebrate who I am, that I celebrate my uniqueness, that I discover my passion and I make room for my passion and I live my passion. But that is only one side of the coin. Because the way the universe is set up, the only way that I can have this is if I celebrate you. If I celebrate your uniqueness. If I make room for you to discover and live and express your compassion and your passion. I can't have this unless I let you have this. It's the only caveat God makes. You can have it all as long as you let everybody else have it all. So why? Why is this? Rhonda Byrne, in her book, The Power, says this. Give negativity to others. Give negativity to others through criticism and anger, impatience, or any bad feeling. And I added, the bad feeling of not accepting them. The bad feeling of not accepting their differences. The bad feeling that you give a person when you don't allow them to express their passion. And when you do this, you will receive that negativity back, guaranteed. And as the negativity comes back, it multiplies itself, attracting more negativity, which affects the rest of your life. She says, what you give to others, you give to yourself. The most enlightened beings throughout history told us to love others. You were not told to love others just so that you would be a nice person. You were being given the secret to life. You were being given the law of attraction. When you love others, you will have an amazing life. When you love others, you will receive the life you deserve. Give love to others through kindness, encouragement, support, gratitude, or any good feeling. And it comes back to you and multiplies itself, bringing love to every other area of your life, including your health, including your money, including your happiness, and including your career. Whatever we put out in the universe, we attract that into our lives, and it multiplies. You will only attract what you're seeking. You will only love life. You will only love your own life. You will only love being passionate if you put love at the center of everything that you do. Love for yourself, love for others, both sides of the coin. So, in all of this, I ask, is it possible to love life? I say yes. Is it possible to love your own life? I say yes. Is it possible to live a passionate life? I say yes. But we have to choose. And we have to train. If we don't train deliberately, we will train very unconsciously. When we watch the news, when we see what's happening in the world, those things can rob our passion. Gotta train. Gotta train to live passionately. So today, you have to answer this question. And it is this. Tell me what it is that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. I can hardly wait to see how this turns out. Have a wonderful week.
And it was great.
So we did this last year, and this is a team. And, yeah, we're not a team. And we're gonna sing a song that goes to the tune of Your Grand Old Flag, and it's all about working in the fireworks booth. Now, who doesn't want to do that? Don't put that out there.
Air conditioning, that's
Are there going to be like beverages and refreshments for all like?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. And fun, and just think of all the people you can meet and influence to come to our church. And besides, we need the money. It's summer and everybody cuts back on their giving, and come on, start, open up and help us. So here we go. Fireworks. Yeah. All right, here we go. You're our firecracker team with a whole lot of steam, selling firecrackers in the desert heat. But with air conditioning, with TNT, there's so pretty to see, with prices that just can't be beat. Yes, our hearts beat true as we salute you as a rocket that's thrown up above. So give a cheer for our volunteers in the center that we all love. One more time. Your firecracker team with a whole lot of steam, selling firecrackers in the desert heat. Made with TNT, they're so pretty to see, with prices that just can't be beat. Yes, our hearts beat true, cause we salute you as the rockets explode up to above. So give a cheer for our volunteers and the center that we all love. And the center that we all love. We love you.
No, they're not. The practitioners are coming forward so that you can see who they are and they can see who you are. To Sunday, their services are on the house, so to speak. They say a prayer for you, with you, or they can just talk to you and they can tell you. They love to talk to people, I think. But we do have a ministry of prayer meeting today, so it's all good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So if we'll have everyone stand and connect. just know with me, right here and right now, what an extravagant universe we live in. That this universe has the ability to create billions of people that are completely different. That even though there is one energy and one intelligence and one power, chooses to express itself with such diversity and with such passion. And so I just give thanks for the gift of life, the gift of my life, the gift of the lives that are around me each and every day. I give thanks for this teaching that teaches me how to live this extraordinary life. And I just know that this week is an amazing week for each person. That each person celebrates their uniqueness, celebrates the uniqueness of others, and begins the journey of discovering and living their passion. Life is meant to be lived passionately. And I say yes. And so I give thanks for it all. And now I release my word into the perfect workings of the law. I know that as I have spoken, it is already done. I go freely into my day as I let go and let God. And together we say,